Hello, I think we're doing it. I think we're live. I think I've pressed the right button. All the lights are red, which in streaming means good. Hello, hello. Etheris, AC, Greco, Connor, hello. Okay, here we are. Another day, another whatever it is we do here. Julian, hello. Harand, hello. Fix compression today. First, top priority. As if you could ever have more than one top priority. Like, surely there's a total ordering of priorities, but hey ho. Got to be chatting more. Well, you split your time between YouTube and Twitch, you see, so your shit posting is equally distributed between two platforms. This is true. I have one priority list because that's what my poor brain can keep hold of. So we have one top priority, that is to fix compression. I know what the issue is. Well, 99% sure I know what the issue is, so that'll be fun. So that'll take, in my mind, 10 minutes. So by the end of the stream, that'll be done, which will be cool. And then add the decompression in, add file logging, fix up some stuff. I need to make a slight tweak to the build, so that means at least one full rebuild today, which is exciting. And then yeah, ship it. Try and get something out for people to have a play around with, which will be exciting. Most of the Lua levels are broken because we changed the API and didn't update them, so we need to go through and fix those up. And then yeah, we'll get there. Is this new for YouTube, ranking people on how good they are at commenting? Wow, we'll see what happens. Maybe I just like to play fast and loose with fate. And we got some experimental features. Okay, let me get myself in my little circle of misery and get started. Okay, so compression doesn't work, and well, decompression doesn't work, but I think it's largely a symptom of compression. So let's go back to the decompress code. Oh, how is the stream? I tweaked some of the OBS settings because apparently I was using some deprecated encoder, which I thought sounded like a terrible idea. So I clicked the non-deprecated one. And then I had to reset all my bit rates and everything. So we'll see. Stream's fine. How's it on the Twitches? Good? Bad? Indifferent? I have a noise like filter as well, so I'm tempted to play around with that at some point. So it doesn't go totally silent when I stop talking, or is continuously silent. I don't know. Good, but I'm glad we have reached a homogeneous level of hoggerness. Okay, right. So can I undo? So the issue we had was this was failing, and then we're like, oh, we'll just ignore the error for now, and that made it worse, which is why you should never ignore warnings and errors and stuff. So where's my code? Source, utils, compress. There you go. Right. So we just need to go back here and then do. I'm just going to put this back in so we can see exactly what the issue is, and then have it all fixed and pucker. So let's put that there, and then this needs to be const auto decompressed size. It's a little bit cooler today, which is exciting. Decompress size, and then okay, built that, and then run through the tests. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable saying it, but that is the nomenclature. Well, this is it. Like the fastest code is stuff. The fastest code is the bit that never runs, so you're fine. How many more Twitch things am I missing in the parlance? Oh, apparently I'm live. That's exciting. At least that works. What is args arg? It's impossible to say. Right. Well, whilst we build all that, I think the issue is actually in the solution was in the examples the whole time. Let me bring this up. This is something I overlooked, and because I was doing it live and everyone was here, we all overlooked it. But I will take full responsibility for it. We compress. Really crush those bytes down. We check. This whole sample works on files, right? Malloc and load file or die. Lots of actions in that function. Notice when it saves the file. Okay, it passes the size here. What I've inferred from this is that the compressed bounds is different to the final compressed size. So we are outputting a buffer too large, which is why it looked like it was never compressing, and the size was always larger, regardless of the kind of optimization level that we were putting on it. We need to adhere to the final result of this if it's not an error, which I think is why we got the weird like incorrect frame size when it was decompressing, because like I think it was a weird way of it saying there's too much data here. Yes, exactly. That is like the maximum possible size that you would need to create, which I imagine is probably like the size of the buffer plus the size of the metadata. Because you can, presumably, I wonder if there's like an option, I wonder if there's a possible code path where it does no compression and it just puts the exact result in the output. But yeah, so where's me? So this fails, right? We get the exception thrown, and as before we saw that was thrown here. So if we go over to compress, then all we need to do is, assuming this is legit, we do compress buffer dot resize compress size, and that's all we need to do. Is just actually output, basically slice off the tail of that buffer to the exact size that we want. Yes, of course, for small enough data, the overhead of the compression format and the dictionaries and all that will be more than you save. So now, if we blend that, and then what we'll do is we'll rebuild the resource as well, and actually, hopefully, it'll be a little bit quicker. I actually want to change this because I don't think we want like max compression level. I think we'll go back to 1, which is like kind of like okay, and we'll see what we get out of it. But I think in the heat in Sunday, I could not see that. It took me the next day when I went back to it, because I was pondering this. I was like, how can their samples not work when we've literally just copied them and just C++-arized it a little bit? I was like, how can it not work? And then I saw it on with fresh set of eyes. Yes, indeed, it's a somewhat cooler Rhino. Okay, so that passes, right? So if we get rid of the resources file and build again, because of the CMake system we've set up, this should repack the resources, and it hoovers up all of stood out and then dumps it all there after it's finished running, which is great. I really like that. Indeed. So here we go. This looks much smaller and also ran, I would say, quicker. Still not the fastest thing in the world, but this here is definitely... The number is smaller. It's only 58 meg now, and before it was 250, I think. So it's like a 20%, well, it's like a, what, 80% compression? Indeed. Size is smaller. So, I don't know. fix compression. The other thing I want to do is go back to the resource packer, and I want to fix this. So we have a little file abstraction, which allows you to open or create and write to it, and this all uses this horror under the hood, which in theory is fast. So we got quite a lot of performance improvements by using mapped files for reading stuff in. So there's like, I should be able to do, I think, not const, auto out equals game file argv2 game creation mode create. Okay, and just do out dot write, which even if it's not, as long as it's not slower, it's still a nicer API. Please stop. So I think this, I got a feeling we tried this before and it didn't work, so let's just go and fix that. A compiler that can build itself is a pretty fascinating place to be. Let's just run the resource packer, because I got a... Let's just see if we can produce this. This goes through, reads it, does the compressing. But the compression seems to take the most time. It seems to take a bit of a chunk of time now, which again, we're not... When we do a release build, that'll be faster, and then it tries to write it, and... Oh, did that just work? Why not? I'm sure. Why have we never used this before? Okay, well, I'm not gonna complain. Did it actually produce the resources test? Oh, hang on, that's... Well, it hasn't just worked, because why is the size massive? Like, it's... Writing resource. That shouldn't be writing resource anyway, that's a misnomer. That should be... Oh, I suppose it's about to write resource. And then, oh, I bet it's mapped the existing one in, because it was already one there. I bet that's what it's done. And then it's written over it, which hasn't then truncated it. So there's definitely some bugs around our file writing code. Let's just do that. I wonder if this will fail. But yeah, gotta... Like, the best way to learn is to make mistakes. You learn the most from mistakes. Nice, thank you. 78% compression, and that's even without going like, was it stood max sea level? Okay, right, here we go. Failed. That's what I expected. Failed to map file 106. So let's go to here. Was that 11177? In main. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Where's the actual in the file code error? File 34. 34. Okay, mapping here. Get last error. So create file mapping A. Where's the docos for that? And Windows error. What do we have? 1006. One of my personal favorites. System error codes. Okay, so fine. Let's go. Ooh, steady. 1066 is file invalid, and then if we go to file A, It's not going to give me the reason for that error. Here we go. Nope. Create file mapping A. That's right, I'm looking at the wrong function. Create file mapping A. Right, now let's go away. I'm not going to Microsoft Ignite. Error file. Attempt to map a file with length 0. Length 0. Okay. I bet it's one of these the zeros. Okay, these are the size. That makes sense. You can't, when you map a file into memory, you can't grow it because it will allocate some memory in your process. So you have to know sort of a priori what the size is going to be. It won't just grow the memory for you. So that's going to be, what, a slight API change, I guess, to get that working? No, I've not done modules yet. I'm probably not going to do it this project. I don't think it's going to be worth it, but I would like to have the next project. I would like to start off maybe doing modules from the start. I just think it's too much effort to retrofit it now. Yes, so this is just the whole TLV, which has a mixture of probably good and bad compressible data, also a mixture of text and binary. So, but seems to be, I mean, nearly 8% compression is not to be sniffed at. What do I want to change about this? I guess actually the API should change because at the moment we give it a path and we give it a mode. I think actually, and that's defaulted. So if we give it a path and then give it a size, we can infer from this one that we are going to be reading, because there would be no reason to give it this. So we can infer from this we're going to be writing, because there'd be no way we would know the size a priori and do that. So in fact, actually, I think creation mode might just go away. Yes, I did read that. Someone has not had a great experience with modules, but I've read some people on Reddit who seem to have, so I need to, it's pain that I need to experience myself, I think, to form my own, for me to fully form my own opinion on it. I think I've read a lot of good and a lot of bad and some good. I think that's probably the ratio I'd say it. But I feel like it's hot coals that I personally need to walk across first to form my opinion. Okay, so let's go to file, because now we can sack this off. I feel like a lot of this is now going to become common code. I'm generally positive about most new features of the language, just because I want things to get better. So I generally start off positive. Yeah, and like I can, like, having spent quite a lot of time doing coroutines before, which does require a fair amount of patience, the prize is definitely worth the pain. But I'm interested to see if that is true for modules. It's near them. Okay, let's. I don't really want to duplicate the code, so let's create. This isn't that necessary, but I kind of I'm here now. So what does this constructor actually do? It creates a handle, a mapping, and a map view, and then with an optional size, basically. So let's do auto. It's a little bit gross. I wonder if I'd be better off having just a private constructor which does the bulk of this. I don't really massive fan of private constructors, but I think in this sense it might help us. Oh no, because then how am I going to disintegrate between the two? Oh, I'd have to use tag dispatch. I'm already regretting my choice to do this. I'm just gonna in it, mate. Let's do yank. Let's bring all these up here. Stick these in here. You're welcome. Next video is restoring an old game, so that's gonna be fun. Video is done, edited. I fought more than I care to admit with DaVinci and its terrible audio processing. It just kept corrupting on me, so it's done. I just need to do a thumbnail. I'm hoping it's going to be released this weekend. I'm fully committed to fish now. I use it everywhere. I'm in the fish zone. I really like it. I'm probably not a power user of it. Like, I know there's plugins and stuff that can make life easier. But I really enjoy it. So let's do something like auto handle equals game auto release. Just have to copy these types out over here. Handle invalid. I think I can, invalid handle value. Stick that in there, and then stick in close handle. Okay, and then ensure that. Std size t size, and then we can do size equals, if it doesn't equal 0, then we'll open an existing, else we'll, no, then we'll open a new one. I need the path in there. Constd file system path. What are my main reasons? I wanted something more than Bash could offer, and it was probably, in all honesty, it was kind of the first alternative I really tried over Bash, and I really liked it. So it's kind of no more reason than maybe it was just the first better thing that I came to. No. If open existing means I want to check if it's a new file, open always means it will open the file if it doesn't exist. So if the size is, if I've given it a size, then that means I'm assuming there's a file there of that size and I want to open it. If I've not given it a size, then I want to create a new file which will read it in. I think. I will double check the docs in a minute because I could very well have that the wrong way around. Let me check the docs. What's this? Create file A. I could be wrong. I know I usually am. Opens a file device only if it exists. Right, so if I've given it a size, then the file exists and I want to open it. Open always is if the specified file exists, the function succeeds. Maybe this should be create new. Maybe that is, which would have prevented that bug we had earlier actually. Create new. Oh yes, no, I see what you mean. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Apologies. Okay, let's do that. And then I want one of these for the mapping. Auto mapping equals that. And then this comes down here, and then put that to the end, and then we're going to stick into that. Close handle. And that. And then finally, this is a unique pointer. So auto map view equals std unique pointer that map view of file, and then unmap view of file. What have I done wrong? Yes, that should have been just handle. That's fine. Have I balanced everything right? Oh, these need to be game those. And this needs to be game as well. $35 extra line after that. Well done, good spot. Okay. This error is Clang D. It's probably right, but I choose to ignore it because MSVC accepts it. Return stood make tuple stood forward stood move even. Move mapping stood move map view. I got a feeling this isn't going to work for me. Oh no, it might do actually. I'm not going to spend too long on this because it does write the files. I just feel like to be consistent I should use this. Although we're not going to be able to use this for when we want to log to a file because we'll need the file to grow, so we're going to have to use something else anyway. Okay, so in here we're going to do auto handle mapping map view equals init path 0 size because we don't know the size and we'll set it afterwards, and then we'll do handle equals stood move. Let's move these out of the tuple. I used auto type deduction for the init method because I just could not be able to type all those out. It was just not worth my time. And finally, map view. And then we can just copy and paste much less code now for this. Size T size. 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 This can go. What's YouTube telling me? What's going on? One of my shorts has hit 50,000 views. That's exciting. I must get back on the shorts game. I've let it slide. Somewhere in here I need to put a size, don't I? Wasn't it the whole point of this? Size low is a D word, so static cast D word. Oh, I've not been very good with my global namespace operator in here. Okay. I don't care anymore. Does any of this blend? Line set 3 is still wrong. Is it moved now? Where have I goofed? Game and thank you. You are correct. How do you use note-taking or reverse engineering complex software? I have Obsidian open on a second monitor, and I basically just write that as I go along, and it's just a continuous stream of my thoughts. When I reflect on the notes that I make to like say write a script or do a video, I often think I've written down a lot of hex addresses here, and I assume they mean something, but I no longer know what they mean. So I just have a lot of hex addresses, and then I have to try and tell a story with that. So to repeat the last command in the terminal, I have a fish command which interprets bang bang as the last command, which is what bash does. Otherwise, I have it in Vim mode, so I can use K and J to move up and down them. Or if I need to find something specific, I have FZF, whatever it is, the search tool here. Then I can just search for something particular. And this is fuzzy searching, so be like, I know if I want to look at all the tests that I've run with all the filters, for instance, they're all here. So kind of enough to get going. Fish mentioned, indeed. Okay. 39 doesn't like 39. Initializationist is unexpected in this context. It is right because that is indeed a function. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. So now back to resource packer. I should be able to just do compress.size. I would definitely recommend someone telling them that they are in the current context unexpected. Can't mash the app key if you haven't got one. Okay, well that'll work. I wonder if this will, because that file exists, it should error out. Yeah, I think at most places I've worked, I've hit at least one compiler bug. Nice, failed to open file. So now if I resources, if I get rid of that, run this. I just told you exactly how I live. I use bang bang, JK, or Control R. Indeed. Yeah, hang on, I don't know if I can. No arrow keys. But it is loud though, which is the most important thing. It's not. Is there any point having a mechanical? Is there any point in having a mechanical keyboard if other people don't know you've got a mechanical keyboard? The keycap's actually pink, but maybe it looks purple in this light. I have actually ordered a new keyboard, a new 60% one with MX Blues to try. This is totally not what I was gonna suggest today. Where is it? Where did I buy it from? Here you go. Ducky. what have I ordered? What is on its way from America, which I didn't realize until I purchased it. I was like, why is it taking so long to get here, and why is it so expensive? This is what I've got. So I'm going to give this a try. It's arriving allegedly Friday, so next stream, hopefully new keyboard. I don't need it, I just wanted it. It is a US layout. There's not a lot I can do about that. I will just have to close my eyes and hope for the best. Or pull the keys off this keyboard and put them on. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll see how loud it is compared to this one. I like this keyboard. It's nice, but I just fancy a change. Well, it's actually because I'll tell you the full story. Okay, I've already bought one of these for the office, an MX Red, and I was like, it's a really nice keyboard, and I really want one for home, but I want it to be loud, so I ended up buying a second one after I'd already bought the first one from America. So I've had to pay FedEx twice to ship 2 keyboards now. So I'm happy to admit my mistake to everyone here. Well, it's not stealing from work, it's mine. Like, I bought it. No, I have like literally my established process for taking notes is bullet points and just a continuous stream of thoughts, and indent stuff when I think it's relevant, but mostly so you can sort of see where my thought process goes off, and then I'm like, nope, and then that, and then nope, and it looks like kind of like a triangle wave. Okay, so that works. So quick refactor file writing. So now we need to decompress it, right? I don't think we're not decompressing this at all. I assume the game doesn't actually run, or do we add this in and then just assumed it would? Yes. It's a TLV error, which means it's probably not a TLV. Is it a TLV error? Try and find something in the resource cache. TLV reader, here you go, yeah. Invalid length, there you go. Should just look at the error message that I wrote. I mean, I'm sure with a bit of soldering and a bit of willpower, I don't know why I was something in the West Country there, and a bit of willpower, you can get it to do whatever you want. My keyboard dings, it does. Farmers mums. Right, okay, what am I doing with my life? I want the other main now, don't I? Do I want this, or do I want game? I think I want the actual game itself. Afternoon, hello. Evening. You can make as many PRs as you want to that repo. I'm going to be quite honest, I will accept absolutely none of them because it does not meet my philosophy of writing everything live. And it's kind of a read-only snapshot of some subset of what I've written live in a slightly better, more formatted way. But I mean, reboots. Just don't be upset if I ignore you. Okay, so somewhere in here we must load the TLV. So we get that from the resource, and then we get the TLV file as data. So before we have the TLV file, we need to decompress it. Right? So So this is going to be, so this is now the compressed TLV, okay, and then const auto TLV file equals utils. Oh, is it not in a utils namespace? Is it just called decompress? And then compressed TLV file as data. I'm worried I'm going to be making 2 copies of this data here. I need to be kind of careful. And then this just becomes this. What does this return? It returns the file. So I guess that's a mapped file. So this will remain in scope. So ideally I need to scope this a little bit better. I think what I need is auto. What do I want? I think what I want is that. Right, and immediately invoked lambda. Average maintainer, how rude. Yeah. If you stream yourself writing some code, I will show up and heckle. How's that sound? Does that seem fair? It's just so much easier to compress everything in one go. I don't think we need that fine-grained control, because also every element you have, you're effectively adding the small overhead of the compression metadata, which will eventually add up as well. So I think just like the whole thing. So this is an immediately invoked lambda. It basically allows me to have more complex initialization logic and still maintain the constantness of the original thing, because it just defines a lambda and then like immediately invokes it. And then what this means is that this file will then go out of scope here, which will then unmap the file, which means I'm only keeping both things in memory for effectively this amount of instructions, or this amount of time. Like most things in what I'm doing, everything gives me trouble. So the maths does a bit. I did further maths at A level, so I had some, I guess, what you'd call like basic linear algebra and calculus. Like I know what matrix multiplication is, and I've done quaternions before, so I guess that. But after a while, just trying to conceptualize it all gets quite difficult. As people have seen from these streams, like I'm definitely not that great at it. I know enough to kind of get by, but I wouldn't say it's not been a blocker for me so far. The maths, I've managed to figure out a lot of it. But it's definitely not my strong suit. I've not done anything from first principles. Is my big goal to learn how to fix a code problem or just build a working game? I think my big goal is to make a working game, right? But that consists of solving lots of problems along the way, because I don't really know how to do this. I'm figuring out a lot of this as I go along. Let's see if this works. This is true, yes, I'm creating code problems. I'm quite often hoisted by my own petard. Yes, this game is made pretty much entirely from scratch. The only concessions I've made are is format loading, so pings and FBXs or whatever 3D modeling I'm using, and the physics engine, and which we're only really using for collision detection, which we could probably roll ourselves now. Everything else is all from scratch, like the renderer, the windowing, the messaging, like the Windows message handling, the internal messaging system, the event handling, the Lua bindings, all that sort of stuff is all hand-rolled, artisanal C++. Like from farm to plate, artisanal, supporting British coders. It crashed, but I was expecting that too. Okay, well that works. Yeah, there is a, well, the message is already there, thank you, Quicko. There is an approximation of this code which has the renderer and everything all online. Where is that? Where's Ugame at these days? I've not updated it in a while, but it has, steady. It doesn't have any resources, so you'll have to kind of add your own things, but it's got some, it's got the assets that I have a license to redistribute. But if you go into that source, it's all kind of broken down much nicer than what we've got. We're working with live. It's got all the OpenGL primitives. It's got the the renderer, which is pretty simple. It's all commented. Like, I've commented every function. I've written more tests. It's generally what I would want the code to have looked like if I had been a little bit more diligent. Okay, 45 minutes in, and we've fixed 2 issues, so we're doing well. You like me today? Do you know? Implying that other days you don't like me? Game Jam went. Every stream is a Game Jam. You're all here. We're doing it live. But yes, maybe soon. That would be fun. Find all the bugs. What a miserable experience that'd be for everyone, where it's just like 1,000 Discord messages me saying like, oh, this doesn't work and you've ruined my weekend. I have done skeletal animations before in OpenGL. It is a pain. We will probably not need it for this project, but I suspect maybe the next one, because I would like to make an FPS at some point. So I would like to tackle that again. I didn't think skeletal, the sort of basic skeletal animation I didn't find too hard, because it's basically just squirting loads of matrices into the graphics card. The interesting problem for me was the blending of them. So you want like, so if you have a character who's got like a running animation, you want to be able to like tween that so that when they stop running, the legs don't just stop. They don't just snap back to the T-pose, they sort of slowly move. Or if they're holding a sword and they have like a sword slash animation, you want to be able to blend that with the running animation so they can run and swing a sword at the same time. That what I thought was fun. What's going on today? What am I doing? So decompress resources. So there's basically 2 things left to do. There is fix up the remaining Lua levels, or at least pick some subsets to distribute. And then there is write some sort of make file, which, because what I want to be able to do is at the end of each stream, once we're at that point, is be able to basically do like make release, and it will create a whole new release directory, go in there, build the game from scratch, probably in debug mode to start with, run the tests, package it up, and then I can just put that on GitHub or somewhere for people to have a play with. Ideally, eventually automatically, but I'll probably just click and drag it manually to start with. Oh, we need to do file logging. Let's do that. That sounds like more fun. Let's go back to previous misery, the logging function. It's amazing how much misery we found in such a small amount of code. Like, this is not a lot of code. Like, for a logging function which supports arbitrary formatting and different log levels, I really chose to do it the hard way, and here we are. No, we're here. We're going to extend it to write to files. So we're probably going to want some sort of toggleable logging, right? So we can disable it in release. I'm probably not going to fully do that. I might just lay the foundations for that today and maybe finish doing it later. Let's. Where do we do the? So I think what I want is where's the .in file? So we've got this .in file. So I think what I want is something like namespace game config Not absolutely not that. Not at all. Not even a slight bit. Like const extra auto be explicit, I guess. Bool log to file equals at game log to file. And then something like maybe even like the top level CMake itself, where we set up all this stuff. Do set. Yeah, before you say it, I've seen it. Log to file. Set log to file, and I think it's something like, I think the runes I want is something like if, is it debug? And then one. Well, can I just do like true, false? Will that blend? How do you reverse engineer a serial key and create a keygen, especially when it relies on a complex algorithm? So creating the keygen is the kind of the easy part. That's the forward engineering part. That's just typing on your keyboard. The tricky part in that is the reversing. It's static and dynamic analysis. Run it through, set some breakpoints, figure out what it's doing, figure out what flags, figure out the flow of information through it. There is an algorithm there, and you just got to bash your head against it. There's no silver bullet. It's just grinding it down over time. So this should make 100. What have I done? Make set variable with config generator. Setting a CMake variable based on build configuration. This is what I want. This is it. Where have I gone wrong? Oh, is it config debug? Basically, I'm trying to set this. I want to generate this boolean based on the debug mode, so it's easy for me. And then we could potentially override it in the future if we want to release build with logging. Oh, can you not use it in set? Using variables is also a good way to reduce errors. The above is not going to improve that. So, oh no, it's possible. Oh, I think this needs to be a string. So, like that. So this is my relentless attempt at avoiding macros, by the way. Yeah, that's oh, steady. Sorry, there's a bonus space there. Don't tell her aunt, but I'm trying to avoid using macros. The game is about, it's gonna be a little puzzle game. It's not gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be great, but it's gonna be hours, which I think is the main thing. Unknown character is 40. What have I? Oh, I know why. I know why. I know why. No clang format. Okay. That'll work. I realised my big bold dome's in the way. Why is that not picked that up? CMake configure file, custom variable. Has it not expanded this, or have I just not set log to file to anything? I guess that is the question. God, CMake is obtuse sometimes. Yes. Where is it? Where you want? Is there a good example of how this works? I think that might be part of the issue. And then I think I need to close that. And then this just becomes that. Because then we can have like debug it's always on, release it's off, or unless we have set like a flag that overloads it. Not getting any better. What do we do? Message. Status. Log to file. Log to file. Something else I don't want to spend like an age on, but here we are. You see, we've used the game. Okay, so one, it's expanded that whole string, which is absolutely useless. Although all their examples use it as a string, so I really don't understand. Well, okay, let's take this back. Okay, can we just set it to this is like the canonical example. So if we're in config interesting, lowercase now, so this should only set that in debug mode, which we're in. So let's just try that. Variable references. Hang on, what's this? What's this? Files should apparently also have... This must be separate, so I think I need this. Why is it? Not particularly happy about any of this. No, I've not looked at VM-based protection yet. I just... The issue is that those are incredibly complex and require a huge amount of time, and I'm kind of chronically short on time. I try and do a video once a month, and I think it would take more than a month's effort to look at that. But maybe I can, like, I don't know, maybe I'll work up to it. I don't know. Okay, so this is looking more promising. Like, it's... Apologies, my mug is in the way. But hopefully you can see. I need duck then, like that would have any effect. So why is this expanding to this? So do I now not want this as a string? The syntax is great. Getting grumpy. Am I being dim? Like their example here, literally from the docs, is like set this in a string. Where else do they set it anywhere? So it seems a little unfair, like a little bit unfair, that the example they've given me does not work. I'm missing it at... I'll take it... Maybe I'll take it back. Maybe I'm wrong. They did only have one set as well. Oh, no, because that was expanding a... The reason they only have one is because that was expanding a specific expression, whereas I need this syntax to say, only do this when this. Well, I got the colon in there now, so that's pretty sweet. Pretty pleased about that. Does that now need to be a string again, or arguably, should it always have been a string? Does it work with one set? I don't know. We could just use their example. Let's try setting it to like. So their example is this, which is obviously not going to work for me. Does that need to be MSVC? I don't know why. Unless you can't print it. Is this even possible? Right? Can I combine? Can I use generator expression with configure file? Like, are these things mixable? Generator expression configure file. File output. I don't. What's the difference between configure file and file generate? Create. Hello. Hello. But the thing is though, like surely this would work, right? Surely, regardless of whether the configure file works, this should work. I don't know why this is not expanding it. Can you not use generator expression in message? How do I put the how do I put the output of a result generator expression CMake? You cannot. Great. It will not evaluate to the inside of set unless it is in an if. Okay. So let's go back to this then. Oh, I'm so full of regret. If condition true string false string. So if okay, config debug if condition true false. Otherwise, I'm just going to hard code it and we'll move on with our lives. It is just. Oh, hang on. That would be my fault. That needs that there. Okay, right. Well, I think I don't care anymore. And then we'll just configure that later when we care to override it. We're just scrabbling around in the dark here, and it's not getting us anywhere because I only want to, like, the whole point is I only want to output to a log file anyway. We are actually a few steps away from wanting to have a full release build with no logging. Even if we had a release build, I would still want logging for testing. So that's fine. Okay. Whatever. I'm going to kick that can right down the road. So let's do config.h. Indeed. And then hash include fstream. And then we're in a header file, which is a little bit annoying. So we'll create like an import. And then we'll do what? Something like static. Not sure we can do const expr. Give it a try. Const expr log file equals std auto f equals std of stream log std ios app std ios Do you have to provide the specific one for binary? Game. It's not going to answer this. This definitely not going to answer that. Game. Ensure F. Could not open file. Turn F. Oh, lots of immediately invoked lambdas today. Because basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to let me talk through what I'm trying to do. I don't want to keep opening the file every time I want to write to it. I want to open it once at the beginning of the application and then close it at the end. So having a static file here, which is created, will basically ensure that for me. Yeah, and also like I don't think my ensure is const expr either. So because it calls to terminate. No, sorry, because it throws an exception, and we don't have const expr exceptions yet. So that's fine. So this will just construct the file for us, and then basically what we can do here is we can basically do if const expr config log to file. Const auto log line equals create that. So we'll format that, and then we will std println it, and then if we have a logged file, we will then use import log file log line std and all. Flush that as well, so we make sure if we crash, we've always got the latest log. So the idea is here is that this is my attempt to not use a macro. Okay, we have a boolean, a const expr boolean in the config file that's generated, and then we can just say if const expr do this, so this won't get compiled as true. Obviously, we'll still always be creating this. We need to handle that, but I'm not that fussed about that at the moment. Yes, you're right. No, good point. Because it was const expr before, it wasn't going to matter, but this will need to be in line. Good spot. Oh, big rebuild. Rude. Yes, that's all. Let's just get it working first. We can always update the logging later and stuff. But I'm kind of happy for it to create it where we run the game. What have I done? The log is too long. It's gone off to the top of my tmux buffer. It is gone. Ensure is not a member of game in 23. It's because it's going to be the issue is going to be that this is included everywhere, so I'm going to get that same error every time. Why is it not? Oh, have I got circular dependency now? Because ensure logs. Funny. If not F. Throw. Oh, that's gonna. Is that gonna have that in there as well? Could not create log file. What are the main struggles I have with CMake? I mean, just most of. Got circular include again. Have I? Is that circular include, or is it just been bad? I find the syntax quite obtuse. Like, I don't find it too intuitive. I've done it enough that I have some familiarity with it. CMake also suffers from the problem that it's been around too long, so there are different best practices that have evolved over time, as they should. But there's lots of old information out there. It's the same problem C++ has. As if you find the wrong article, it will be out of date. Can't throw that. Oh, yes, you're right. I just need to remove that, don't I? Which is where exception is defined. So, MD explains. Hello. I hate everything. Fatal 14. Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. I think it's best practice to always abstract out the WinMain and WinMain boilerplate. I think it depends what you're doing. If you're just throwing something together quickly, like, no. But if you're writing anything larger, then yeah, I think it's easier to reason about. It makes the call site cleaner, and then you kind of talking in terms of your own primitives. It really doesn't like logline 72. I bet it's because it's const, which would make sense. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's obvious when you think about it. I just don't know what I'm doing. It's cool. Made your own GUI framework, nice. If you've not, then feel free to go over to the Discord. There is a project showcase. Please write a bit about like what you did and why you did it. People are always keen on what other people are doing. All right, now we're cooking. For more than that, I think there's, with all the dependencies, I think a full build is like 500 translation units. Lines of code is 6,449, which is not too bad. I thought Ninja by default was multi-threaded. Good practice to have a class for every file is very much a personal preference. I prefer it because I think it's easier to search through it and stuff like that, but it does increase compile times because you have more translation units, there's more preprocessor stuff. I know some people prefer to have everything as much as possible on file. I prefer to separate it out. That's my opinion. Okay, so let's run this. No, not personally. do this, we do that, we do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. And then there should be, ooh. Nice, okay, cool. We is logging. I think it's a very bold claim. Bold claims like this thing is bad or this thing kills this thing is meaningless to me without metrics. Like there could very well be a situation where they have worked on a project where they had performance improvements by removing OOP, right? That's fine, but it's not a generalization. So I'm kind of skeptical of any bold claims like that. Again, it's all relative. 50 times faster than what? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that might be a specific case on specific hardware with specific build. Do you know what I mean? I'm very skeptical of like grandeur sweeping statements. Profile. Yeah. So like the overhead, there is a small overhead in doing dynamic dispatch, right? I think most of the time it is negligible. What like an extra point of dereference is negligible. What I think tends to have the bigger impact is it could trash your instruction cache. If you've got a array or a vector of effectively interfaces and you're calling the same virtual method on all of them, but they all point to different code, then there's branch prediction, everything kind of goes out the window. If the order that you call them is irrelevant, then sorting them by their underlying type will have a massive increase. Could potentially have a massive impact on performance. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. Okay, he's probably right. He's got a lot more experience than I have. He definitely knows what he's talking about. I'm just saying that you have to be kind of careful with such like throwaway statements, or what could be construed as a throwaway statement. Like again, I'm not in any way saying it's wrong. I'm just saying you measure and like find out for yourself. Yeah, I my full-time job, I guess, is a developer of sorts. Yeah, exactly. So, I write code for maintainability and readability first, and then performance second. That's kind of my view on it. Whether you think any of this is maintainable or not is up to you. To me, it is. Okay, interesting actually. So if I run this again, does it remove that log or does it continue appending to it? I don't know which one I want. I probably want to always append to it. I don't want to accidentally lose a run. It does append to it. That's fine. We should probably have some timestamps in here as well at some point. Yes, indeed, with some comments, which provides a little bit more colour to some of this. It should be a bit more maintainable. Okay, well, that was fun, question mark. So I don't think it's worth timestamping at the moment because it's strictly linear order and like I don't care about the delta between the lines, but it might be useful at the moment. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Yeah, I'm not an audio engineer. The problem is that there's a fair amount of background noise that goes on in my house and in my office, so I need to have the noise gate quite high, which does mean there is kind of an audible cutoff. I open to suggestions, but I don't want to compromise the main audio, if that makes sense. Because I'm worried if I lower the noise gate too much, it will allow all the stuff you don't hear to kind of come in. Swings and roundabouts. Okay, let's do this. I've configured this wrong from the start. I've been using Ninja, but I actually want to use what's called Ninja multi-config because at the moment, this, if we wanted to do a release build, will not work. It will. You have to set the build type CMake flag at the point you do the first configure, which I don't want. So I want to quickly change that, which means also our CPAC stuff probably won't work because it will then be in I think this will then be in debug bin, right? So I'm gonna blow this away. Check in the build directory before I just throw everything in the bin. And then let's go bring this back and then do -G ninja. Oh, I've got -G there, right? Okay, fine. -G multi config. We're gonna have to put up with this building for a second whilst I guess just gas. Like one super fragile, like again, like fragile how? Like in what is your metric for fragility in a programming language feature? I think a lot of people write a lot of code in modern C++, and the language itself is not the weak point. So we kind of have starting game anyway, because if we go to game, the first thing we print out is the sorry, if we go to main, the first thing we print out is starting game and then the major minor patch version. So that's how we know where it will start. I'd be interested for an example of I think the principle of least, what I've heard is the principle of least surprise is subtly different to just not knowing how a feature works, and I think you might be conflating those two things slightly, which is fine. But again, I don't consider unique pointer in any way surprising. It is very deterministic and very well understood what it does. There's no way, like, if unique pointer didn't maintain unique ownership or didn't destroy something when it went out of scope, then it would violate the principle of least surprise. But I'd say it's very well defined and very well understood what it does. So there are user-friendly features and then there are advanced features. Right, I would say deducing this is quite an advanced feature. We have used it, but it's definitely not something everyone needs. I think Death Candy is here. I'm sure he has his opinions. I like his comment from a previous stream or on the Discord, which is like, it solves a problem you haven't had yet, and I think that's very much the case for that. But there's a lot of problems you do have that you can solve with lots of stuff from 11 onwards. Yeah, I mean, it's a complex language, right? It solves complex problems, right? And it gives you a huge amount of control over what you do. Like, that is the reason to use the language. Yeah, but that's an implementation detail, right? But from the compiler, not on the feature itself. If you look in terms of like the abstract machine and the spec, those features are, there's going to be some things that are like not great. Like there's certain issues around, for instance, std regex, and I know some people have some issues with std unordered map. But by and large, I think they are. Ask Das Candy. A lot of effort goes into making sure these features are fit for purpose before they get standardized. I'm sure it's not always perfect. Right, so what I should be able to do now is cmake -- build config debug, okay, and this should this will create a separate debug directory and a release directory, which means I can easily flip between the two of them, which is what I want. And I should have done that from the start, so it's just slightly annoying, which means also then I can do, like, it's just easy for me to flip between the two of them. Yeah, choke on my water as I watch this compile. Christ. Well, I won't be doing that again. Indeed. Right in the wrong hole that was. I'm glad that's captured forever. It's true, I'm not allowed to die on stream. I'm also not allowed to drink too much, so I take that as basically drink anything. My wife is asking if I'm okay. Fine. I'll be fine. It's the water that got me. Wrong hole. Nailed it. Okay, that was a nice distraction while this builds. Yes, you can't be drunk. Yeah, it's true, but I would... Easy not to. Right, I think I've cleared that out of my system, so that was good. Good luck. Okay, so let's do this. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, we need to fix up the Lua levels before, or if we just kind of release with just maybe one working one and then it dies. I suppose I should just half an hour left. We'll fix up all the Lua levels, and then we'll. Be nice if we can get this out for released. Well, put some tickets on AC's backlog to open up some of the hidden rooms for the new game. Oh, sorry, someone said, will there be more reverse engineering videos coming, or is it a stressful process? So yes, it is a stressful process, but there will be more. I have finished editing the next one. It should be up this weekend, hopefully. That is the plan. Yeah, I guess we could just put the first level in and see. We'll see. But probably not the one we've currently got. Maybe we'll go back to Apple, which is like the basic one, and just check that that works on people's machines. Okay, so now we should have a debug one. So if I don't think CPAC will now work. Yes, because I cannot find. Why is it? Where's he gotten that? Where's he gotten that one from? Install game. Why has he not picked up the target? I've got to figure this out first, because why is it trying to load that? File install. Where's file install? It's going to be this one, right? No. This is within the CMake file. It just installs the target, right? So the target, and it tells you where you want it to go. What am I missing? Am I being silly? I'm happy to revert this if this doesn't work now. I thought as we were doing CMake stuff today and it's a bit more of tidy up, it'd be worth just moving to the multi-config now. It's in the CMake from the resources directory. Which CMake in the resources directory? Oh. There's no CMake file in here, is there? Error at build source CMake install file. File install cannot find projects source release game.exe. Thank you very much. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Oh, has it? Wait a minute, where's it built it at all? Okay. Well, where's my... Okay, fine. So it's in source debug. Okay. But it still targets game. That's what the bit I don't... That's the bit I'm missing. Is, there's some... here you go. What's all this? It's confused me that it's looking for a release. This is correct insofar that it would be, if I'd done a release build, it'd be source release, but I don't know why it's not. When I definitely did. Oh, hang on. Do I need to? Hang on. I'm reading CPAC config file. CPAC debug config. Oh, hang on. Is it different? Is it cpac.-c debug? Obviously, why would it be the same flag as the other CMake tools? Why wouldn't it be? I hate everything. ls. Okay, well that's still in there, so that's fine. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not at this second, right now, while I'm fighting CMake. Alright, it's alright. It's okay. Right. Release. So I want to do rm rf release. Okay, and then I want to do cd. Can you change directory in a CMake in a make file, or does it reset the current directory on each line? I'm showing my ignorance of make files now. I think you got to do it like. I just want a top level make file that drives doing a release, so just running the CMake commands. So and CMake --build dot --config debug cd release. This probably should just be a shell script at this point, but here I am. Yeah, okay, fine. You're right. This release dot show. And bash hang on, is it set E for erroring out? Release release push T release, run that, cmake -- build dot config debug ctest dot cpack dot dash c debug pop D. Decur. Okay, so chmod +x release it's just because I'm in fish. No, you're right. I might have it the wrong way around. I fat fingered it. I meant the shebang, but I fat fingered it. It's sure it's building though, so EU politics joke going on. Okay, doing something. Right, so whilst this is building, I should have done this in a different terminal. Yeah, it's true. Okay. So if this works, then this is basically all I need to then start uploading stuff somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. I still need to figure that out. To better understand your issues with the game, I mean, it depends what the issues are. Like, if they're rendering issues, then render doc. If they're runtime issues, then a debugger. It's kind of, I think more context is required. Because I want, when I just, in my mind, when I do, I always like, this is maybe just a personal preference, I like a release to be just absolutely clean, fresh, built, tested, packaged. So the aim is I'll only do this at the end of the stream, and I wouldn't make normally everyone watch, so we'll get to the end of the stream, we'll comment everything up, I'll push up the changes, and then I'll just do this, and then end the stream, and then once it's finished building, I'll put it somewhere for people to have access to. I'm just kind of, again, trying to just do this live just to kind of show the process, but I really want like a fresh pucker build each time, and try and remember to increment the CMake version number as well. The regular building and debugging will be incremental builds. Works nearly 600 translation units. Exciting. Most of that is, a big chunk of that is Jolt, which we now don't really use a lot of. So, what are you gonna do? Where'd you go? Should have been around for more. Okay, let's get this done. Pick a level, increment it all up, wrap it up, and then I think. Well, I hope everything is okay. There's an acceptable reason to not be listening to me prattle on about C++. I think after this is done, we'll try and get some people to play this and have a test of it, and then if that is pucker, then then we'll get some feedback from that, and then next stream, so Sunday, we'll either fix up those issues or we'll start looking at doing some sort of I really want to play around with some coroutines and do a message loop. A game loop with that. Can you test install it? It's all self-contained. There is nothing to install. It's all It should, in theory, all be self-contained into a single executable. That is and the resources. So that's kind of the main allure of doing it like this. And eventually, I would like to add the compressed resources pack into the executable. Sad face. What have I done wrong? Interesting. Does C-test also require? What do you reckon? Do you reckon -C? Like CPAC? It is. Okay, fine. So let's finish this fix. Nvim. Sure. Hashbang. There we go. There we go. I will not redo the whole thing. I'll basically simulate that from here. So let's do cd release C-test. So that works. And this is the one we've just built, so run through that again. Oh, sorry, I was context. Yeah, and also because like a lot of installers, they need to unpack resources because you load them from the disk. They need to set up registry entries, stick stuff in like your programs files, so it appears in the Windows menu. Put shortcuts on a desktop. It needs to do a whole load of stuff. So I'm not interested in any of that for now. Okay, right, done, nailed it. I guess I'm not incrementing the... Well, actually, hang on. So let's... nvim.get ignore... not want that as well. So git lazy git and add release script and then nvim copilot disable SV game. I think we should have Apple. That's been our kind of go-to one. Let's get that fixed up. Let's just rebuild that. That won't work because I think we're missing a couple of methods from it, but that's fine. We'll add them super quick. And then probably wrap it up there, I think, in a minute. There are, in the next video, there are some anti-debugger techniques which we go over, which is quite exciting. So yeah, stay tuned. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute, where's it going to be now? So I'm going to source debug game.exe. I'm expecting this to be slightly unhappy because Lua script set function does not like missing function get ambient. E assets Lua level apple. Yes. Do we want... So the reason we have this, right, is because level papaya has the ability to change the ambient light based on inputs in the game. There's plenty of assembly code in it. It has some unaligned instructions and some weird obfuscation. I don't think it does. It's not. It's a good intro, I think, to kind of these kind of techniques. I wouldn't say it was massively. It's a pretty old game. It's from like '99, I think. So probably cutting edge then, but definitely nothing compared to what we have now. Okay, so the question is, do we want the ambient function to be in every level, or do we want to modify the Lua so that it can... So do we want to modify the C++ bindings to be able to say, hey, check if this function exists and only call it if it does? I think the easiest thing for now is probably just to... really undecided. I can't decide. How do I feel? Because it would make all the other levels kind of just work. Let's have a look at the little script. So function. So we can do something like auto has function constant string name const bool. Right. Maybe. Take that and then go the script, and then set function script. So basically, want to do return. The function like that. Okay. Is that right? I feel like get set function doesn't have any side effects. Like, what's set function do? Oh, Jesus, it's been so. I'm worried this has some sort of side effect in the Lua. Yeah, so how do I just check it from the top? That's what I want to do. How do I do this? I need to just peer. Does it get top? God, it's so... My brain has instantly forgotten all this. Lua C check function exists. Honestly, didn't think this would take too long. But I feel like I've... What's the oracle say? In Lua C bindings, how do I check if a Lua function exists? Wow, that is some awful typing even for me, but hopefully it'll figure out what it is. You can check if a Lua function exists by accessing the global table and verifying the value as a function. So apparently I need to do get global, return. Ah, I see. Hang on. I want to do const auto get global equals Lua t function, and then I need to pop it off afterwards. So Lua pop Lua dot get -1. Oh, I don't like ret type at all. As if. Or just delete it all. Okay, right, so now Lua level ambient could also have, I don't know if it's a slightly nicer API or if it's getting a little bit too low level now, too abstract now, but you have like a try call, which then returns. Oh no, because then you'd have to have templated for different return types. That could be part of the script run actually. I feel like I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm putting glitter on a turd here. Just wonder if it's worth having try execute, which will return a pair of a bool and the return type that you wanted. No, fine. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do equals script dot as function ambient. This can do one. Call that. Oh. Call that else vector 3. Actually, else it will be whatever the default one is. What was the default one? Vector 3. It was something like 0.4, I think. All of them. Okay. If we have to do this a lot, I will consider extending the script run to have like a try execute, which has maybe like a default value or turns like a boolean or something like that. See if this works. Or I could just add that method function to the Lua and not worry about it. Oh yeah, I've totally what have I done here? No denying that, that is wrong. How's that silence treating everyone? Indeed. It's leaking into the real world. Okay. Of course I did it twice, didn't I? Oh, that try execute function is looking real nice about now. Although here's, look at all this. Right, okay. Oh. Gosh darn it. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that. Else did make tuple vector 3 1.0 minus 1.0 f minus 1.0 f 1.f vector 3 5f, something like that. Can't remember what they are. Right. Okay, fine. So now that's what 3, and then get directional light. I'm obviously going to call it again here. Get rid of that. Do that. Do this. Do that. Do the other. Make it all good. Don't run the game. Don't run the game again. Don't run the game again. I've not built it. Yeah, I'm not too worried about efficiency at the moment, but I think we'll definitely look at improving this in the future. Yeah, the scene is just a massive structure. It's just like a grab bag of state that we need to render everything with. It will only get bigger. I feel like level state I actually probably want. Didn't I refactor a lot of how this works? So I have to have like, we're gonna have to come up with some better way of doing all this because copying this every time is going to be a massive pain. Just update level. That then if barrels visibility, update that, update level, and then that goes there. Yeah, we refactored a lot of how this worked. So that's going to stay the same. That's going to stay the same. Need to reset the level state. Sorry, I'm just quickly whizzing through this as I know roughly what I need to do. That goes there. Get rid of this complete because that all disappeared. Barrel count, barrel info. Set barrel visibility. Get handle entity intersect. I think this is just an empty function for this case. Yeah, I think having some global Lua level state that we kind of either inject into it all or is already set up for us would make life a little bit easier. I'm definitely going to consider doing that. Let me get this to run. Come on, run. I want my beer. Missing function level state, eh? Oh, you know what? Now we have the fun of, we definitely need to have Lua levels that are loaded from a local directory because we're going to have to rebuild that resource pack every time they change, which is a pain. That's going to be really slow to iterate. We'll definitely add that pretty soon, I think. And then we can have like a testing area for scripts. Yeah. And then once we're happy with them, we can move them over to the assets where they get baked in. Okay, nice. Okay, cool. So this will crash. Oh, it does load the next level. Okay. Okay, we got a bunch of levels. Nice. I think this one is unsolvable. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone can get past this. Okay, right. Quit all this. Lazy git. That's fine. Wait a minute, why did they Have all the other levels got that? I must have changed that state in all those other levels then. Hang on. Whoa. Get a bit ahead of myself now. Let's do add ability to check for Lua function, and then update levels for testing, and then nvim cmake 2. Please get print bump version for tag stream 58 push. Okay, well that's I might need to revert that at some point, and I don't want it to be bundled with everything else. I will not make everyone watch this. What I will do is get out of this sweat locker that I'm in and let this run in the background, and if it passes, then I will see if I can put it for somewhere for people to use. It might not be this evening. I might get lost in Factorio. I'll do my best. Yes, Discord, come along, join it. It'll be fun. We'll play it. We'll cry at the bugs together. Then we'll see. Undecided Sunday. We might do some coroutines, or we might, depending on the feedback, if people have a play with it, do some fixing of that and improve some of the levels. I do need to I need to add in a level editor at some point as well, like a graphical one, but that's maybe a bit further down the line. And then it's just text rendering, audio, menus, game design, better graphics, improved packaging. And we're done. I am shit enough at the base game that I don't need any more complexity, I think is probably the best way of describing that. Yeah, no worries. I'm glad to come along. Thanks for the interesting discourse. So yeah, I'm not quite evolved to Space Age yet because I still suck immeasurably at the base game. Cool. I hope everyone had fun. Thanks for coming along. It was great. I enjoyed it, and I will catch you all on Sunday.